Hello everyone, I'm Sebastian White, and this is Principles of Microeconomics. In this video, I'm going to solve this exercise on international trade. As always, I highly recommend that you attempt the exercise first on your own before watching the solution. We're going to start out assuming that our country is closed to trade. This is the situation that we call autarky. We're going to approach this basically the same way that we would any other supply and demand model. To find the equilibrium price, we find the price that makes the quantity demanded equal to the quantity supplied. Here that happens at a quantity of 500 and a price of 25. Now we want to find the consumer and producer surplus. To do that, we are going to draw the triangles. For consumer surplus, it's the triangle below the demand curve and above the price, which is 25. For the producer surplus, the triangle above the supply curve and below the price. We can see here that our triangles are the same size, but that does not always have to be the case. We're going to use the formula for an area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. For consumer surplus, base is 500, and height is 50 minus 25, which is 25. Divide that by 2, that comes out to 6250. For the producer surplus, we can see that the base is also 500 and the height is 25. Divided by 2, that's also going to be 6250. Next, we're going to look at what happens when we open up the country to trade and the world price is 15. The first thing we want to do here is just draw a horizontal line across the entire graph at 15 for our world price. Notice that the world price of 15 is lower than the domestic equilibrium of 25 that we got before. That means that this country is going to be importing goods. We can see that our quantity demanded at our world price of 15 is 700, but the quantity supplied domestically is only 300. That difference is going to be made up by our imports. So the amount that's imported is 700 minus 300, which is 400. Now for the consumer surplus, we're still going to draw the triangle that is below the demand curve and above the price, but we're now dealing with this new price of 15. We go about this the same way as always. Base of 700, height of 50 minus 15, which is 35, divided by 2, we get 12,250. Now we'll do the producer surplus, which is the triangle below the price and above the supply curve. Area of this triangle, base of 300, height of 15, divide that by 2, that's going to be 2250. It doesn't say this here, but we can also go ahead and calculate the total surplus by adding those up. 12,250 plus 2250 is 14,500. The last thing we're going to do is see what happens when we put a $5 tariff on each unit imported. I went ahead and erased all of our annotations other than the world price. When we add the $5 tariff, we need to draw a new horizontal line across the graph at 20 because we are adding 5 to the world price. Now we can go ahead and figure out our quantity demanded, which is now going to be 600. Quantity supplied is now going to be 400. Whenever we have a tariff like this, the outcome is going to be somewhere in between autarky and our free trade situation. That difference is still going to be made up by our imports. So we have 600 quantity demanded, 400 produced. Amount of the imports is going to be the difference, which is 200. Now we can figure out our consumer surplus, still the area below the demand curve above the price, but now we have to take into account the tariff. Same thing for the producer surplus, above the supply curve, below the new price. For consumer surplus, base of 600, height of 30. Producer surplus, base of 400, height of 20. Go ahead and calculate those. Consumer surplus is going to come out to 9,000. Producer surplus comes out to 4,000. This just leaves our tariff revenue and deadweight loss. We're going to go back to the graph and calculate those. For our tariff revenue, we are importing 200 units, and the tariff is 5 per unit. And so we have a rectangle, 200 times 5. 200 times 5 is 1,000. Finally, for our deadweight loss, we can see that there are 2 little triangles left that used to be part of the total surplus without the tariff. These are now gone. The tariff has eliminated these 2 triangles from the total surplus. That's our deadweight loss. Each of these has a base of 100, a height of 5. In this example, they happened to be the same, but that also does not need to be the case. So to calculate the deadweight loss, we have one triangle with a base of 100, a height of 5. Divide that by 2 for the area, and then we have another one that's exactly the same. Each one of those is going to be 250, so we have a total of 500. We can check our work here by calculating the total surplus. Total surplus is going to be consumer surplus of 9,000 plus producer surplus of 4,000 plus our tariff revenue of 1,000, which is 14,000. Notice that our total surplus used to be 14,500, and so we've lost 500 in our deadweight loss. And so that all checks out. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.